All right, lads, welcome back to me podcast Cheaper Than Therapy. Mick Thomas here. How are you? Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing, and coming on back. I do appreciate that. New episode of the Manxiety Show is also available wherever you get your podcasts with me and Corey Brooks. That's now out. Spotify, YouTube, all of that stuff. Come see me live. You know what? I got a bunch of dates. I'm not going to just start posting them here. There's no point in talking about it. But next weekend I am in Pittsburgh. I cannot wait to get back to Pittsburgh to the Pittsburgh Festival next Friday and Saturday night. But also thank you to everybody who came out to Kansas City in Missouri. Man, you were a delightful bunch of sons of bitches. You were so fucking nice, so fun. So, best shows I've had in a while. A lot of fun. So thank you to all who came out. So I do appreciate it. And also I'm around everywhere else around the city, right? Around places, Comic Strip, the Stand I got coming up, Comedy Cellar, West Side Comedy Club. I'm always around, jumping in and out there. So come see me live. It'd be, bit of laugh. But yeah, I genuinely do want to apologize for last week's episode. Wasn't good because I missed one the week before being in Florida, and then when I got back I was really sick, and I just thought, it's just a head cold. I could just knock it out with a few sniffles, and it was not good. I was high on medicine. Not high, but you know what I mean. It was just disorientated. Sniffling, couldn't read my notes. It was a shit show. So I do apologize for that. So hopefully we'll be back on the old straight and narrow, off the narcotics. I do have a little bit of a scratchy throat, but that's from all the yelling I did this weekend in Kansas City. Great time had. So today's episode, boys and girls, we're going to talk about immigration. So New York City is overrun by a lot of immigrants are now attacking the city, if you will. And you just see this. Anything I say, by the way, just look it up, right? I wish I had enough production value to put up videos, these 30-second videos, and watch them with you and comment on them as they're happening. But if you Google what I'm saying, I do like to be fact checked, by the way, so if I ever say something wrong, do let me know. But I do usually not talk about something I don't know about or have done my work on. But if you see something there that's, whatever the fuck am I talking, you're rambling. But yeah, so New York City is overrun by a lot of immigrants. They're illegals that are coming in, that have been shipped in from Texas. So what happened was, the borders, which people are saying, like, we don't need to secure the borders. It's not that bad, right? It's not that bad. Just a few people coming in. Thousands of people are coming in a day, and they're just taking over. Texas. We're taking over Texas. And the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, said, well, fucking enough of this. Because what happened was, right, so Texas, like, we don't want these people coming in. They're going to come across the border. They're going to fuck up our state. And, of course, the liberal states, which were New York, Chicago, Philly, Denver, LA, and Washington, D.C., were like, well, that's terrible. You should let them come in. And now I do understand the irony of an immigrant in America talking about immigration in America. And I'm very pro-immigration. I really am. I'm like Thor, he immigrated here from Asgard. Mario, right, came from Italy, right? Love a bit of immigration, and of course me. So I'm aware. I'm aware of the irony of a foreigner talking about foreigners coming in. But the problem is, so they all came in, and in those states that I just mentioned, were all like, well, oh, that guy in Texas is terrible. How could you say that? They should be allowed to sleep on the streets and make people feel unsafe. They should be allowed to do that. They should be allowed just lying all over, like just taking up, again. So Greg Abbott said, all right, since you're so welcoming, and obviously we're the bad people and we're not welcoming, so why don't we do this? Why don't we just pay some bus tickets, some bus fares, and we will send them to your state? So they did. The buses arrived New York City, Chicago, Philly, Denver, LA, and DC. And as soon as y'all got off the bus, people what? Go ahead. You wanted to help him, right? Yeah, but we don't. We like to just preach that to do the good and the right things, but we don't actually want to do them. So now this is a crisis. Yeah, fucking idiots. So, and then what happened? Like even Healy, the Massachusetts governor, did you see her video? Go Google that one. She's up there telling people, hey, listen, is there any chance if you have a spare room in your house, you can let them come and live with you? How's a family? Legit. If you own a hotel or if you own a motel, maybe give up some of the rooms. Yeah, so give up your livelihood. I own a hotel, so I should let these people come in who are not going to pay for electricity, not going to pay the rent, and I should just turn customers away who are going to pay for all that shit. That's your solution. Let them into your house, invite a family. Do you know what I mean? Like that's how's a family? Can you imagine that one? Like, you're just kids. Where are my socks gone? I don't know. I think fucking Jorge took them there. Jorge, stop taking little Jamie's socks. He doesn't know any better. Leave him. It's fine. That's what we're supposed to do. You're going to what? Supposed to go into the shower one day? Who's in the bathroom? Oh, Maria and fucking, and I don't know, insert name here. And you're going to come out, babe, just a minute. You know what I mean? You can try going downstairs, watch fucking something on your on your Netflix. You're going to Netflix and chill, and you walk in, and there's a fucking one of the families just sitting there with the remote control after changing all your settings to Spanish. Is that what we're supposed to do? Healy, is it? Just let them in our houses and pay for them. That's the response. So what does that tell you, though? What does that tell you? Again, my rant about politicians, they're all full of shit. Do the right thing. Oh, let's pass judgment on people who are not doing the right thing. But then when we ask us to do the right thing, they fucking back out. Like even now, the guy Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, who was attacking Abbott about what he was doing is wrong, is now just saying we're in a crisis here in New York. And it's bad in New York City, man. It is bad in New York City. They're just showing trucks with these fucking mopeds. I don't know where they're getting the mopeds from. And they're just up and down, no helmets, doing fucking donuts in the middle of Times Square. And then you see videos of these trucks just fucking shoveling them into the back of the truck. Now, again, listen. Before we talk about immigration coming in here, Europe is fallen. Europe has taken in so fucking many of them. And we don't know why. Who's sending them? And where are they coming from? Nobody knows where they're coming from. Like, there's Ethiopians coming through. Like, why are there Ethiopians coming through the Texas border? All men. No women or children. Why are there a bunch of Ethiopians, a bunch of people from Pakistan coming, like, and they're all coming in droves of and there's no women or children with them. Right? Like, even you go to Italy, right? And poor Europe. Europe is gone. Like, there's an island in Italy, off the coast of Italy, and it's called, I'm going to mess this up, Lampedusa, if I'm saying it right. If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. Population of 6,000. Tiny island. Population of 6,000. I'm assuming fishermen, right? If you're usually on islands, they are fishermen. Few little I own a hardware shop. Maybe a real estate, whatever it is. Population 6,000. 4,200 Africans plopped on that island. Almost 100% of an increase and that island's gone now. Gone. So they're all over Europe, right? In certain countries like Sweden, right? So now they're from countries that don't respect I'm not saying they're all bad people, by the way. So this is not what this is about. So they're from countries that all have different values, we'll say. Different values. Where women are second-class citizens, so we should be allowed to do what we want with women, which is actually in some of their books, right? And again, fact check me. Sweden, rape has gone up 500%. That's a lot of percents. I remember we were in maths in school, and we were in mathematics in school, and the teacher would tell you can't get more than 100%. 100% is everything. It's full up. But They managed to do it in Sweden. They managed to get it up to 500%. Sexual assaults in all of these European countries have gone through the roof. They can't maintain it. And the cops don't do anything about it. For some reason, the higher ups are telling them, let it happen. You'll be fine. Just let it go. Let it go. You know, I don't know where that's acceptable and why it's acceptable when your own people are suffering and being victimized. But for some reason, every country right now is taking in people from all over the shitty parts of the globe. Now, I'm all about charity. I'm all about helping out. And I understand, right? People need help. I understand that if I live in a country and everything, they might lob my head off today because I looked the wrong way. But right over that wall or right across that border there, I don't have to deal with that. I get it. I get it. It's not about compassion. It's about who is going to pay for that. And it seems to be the regular civilians who didn't. Like, even my own little beautiful Ireland is starting to fall. My beautiful Ireland, right? So, and it's happening. There's a bunch of them in Ireland coming over now, right? So they've built a housing development. They built a housing development to house these families. Like, built brand new homes, and they gave it to them. They just gave them these, like, €9 million they spent on these housing developments, built them from scratch, and they moved in all these foreign people when there's a housing crisis in Ireland and their own people can't get houses. But yeah, you can build houses quick for these people, and you're calling them refugees. What are they refugeeing from? 405 people, right? There's student buildings. This is you know how you're fucking up your own country when you kick students out of their student housing to let 405 people in. So now students have to commute a 6-hour commute to go back and forth to college, 3 hours each way, because they can't get houses now. In places like Sligo, they can't get houses now. So what happens? Kids are going, I'm not going to go to school anymore. Fuck it. I mean, that's a cool excuse, by the way, for your parents. Oh, like, you're failing every subject because you're out drinking. Then you go like, oh shit. You know what, Dad? I would have fucking loved to have been in college, but these foreigners taking my houses. But yeah, so real students in Ireland are being kicked out of their fucking dorms to let these fucking people in. Senior living. Seniors are being kicked out of their house. Their home, they're like, because the government pays for, it's a little bit different than is in America. So if you have a senior home, you know, an old folks home, they kick you out. They don't kick you out. I'm just rambling now. I'm saying shit. They fund it. The government funds it for you. So what they do is the government, like, well, we're paying for it, so you might as well get the fuck out. And now they're kicking people out, old people out. And there's videos of this. I'm not just making it up. Google it, and you can watch these old people being escorted out of the house. And like, bye, see you now. Where are you gonna go? Fucking sucks to be you, doesn't it? And we got to let these fucking people in who are coming in and just taking everything. Like, they're just giving everything for free. They're giving everything for free. And they're fucking taken, and the crime is going through the roof again. And it's fucking, listen, man, it's a fucking catastrophe, right? And because, here's the weird thing too, right? It's Europe in general is liberal, very liberal. And here's something worth thinking about, right? So you have, fucking England, did you Google the Notting Hill parade? There's a whole parade of them. They decided to come out and just have this parade. That's what they wanted to do, right? All the illegal immigrants said, we're going to have a parade. And we're going to just say, hey, we're going to rub it in your face that we're taking all your things. $1 million worth of homes, millions of dollars of housing in Notting Hill in England. There's a video of it, again, Google it, of this woman. She has her door cam on, and there's people coming down the steps and shitting and pissing on their doorsteps. Just because they're in a parade and they had needed to go, you gotta go. So your £4 million fucking pound house looks just like a nice big toilet to me. And the cops do nothing. They just stand there and they let it go. So you look at places like that, right? So let's take Britain, Ireland, most of Europe, and big chunks of America, meaning are really liberal. Now, big chunks of America, people in charge right now are liberal. So I don't get why they're making these decisions. So they're the ones allowing them in. Everyone is suffering for it, by the way. Nobody. It's never like they're fine. They come in, they mind their business, they're fine. You know, like nobody. It's not a case of that. When they come in, crime immediately goes up. Right, resources go down. They're in so all these liberal places are now getting pushed around by these people. But it's funny, you go to a country like Israel. Israel yesterday was on the news. It was on the news yesterday that Israel, there was a bunch of Ethiopian people moved to Israel. Israel like, you know what? If you want to come in, fine, obey our laws or fuck off. These gangs of Ethiopians who don't like each other, you would think, you know, like, hey, we're in a different country now. We might as well just tone it down a bit. Aren't we lucky that we left that rival country where we used to fight and now we don't have any food or water? But now we're in a place where they're giving us food and water. Don't you think our petty problems would go away? No. But so the Ethiopians are fighting with each other and the Israelis came out and gunned them all down and went, knock it off. Gun, 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 gun. Google it. Again, look it up. So a bunch of Ethiopians were shot whilst committing crimes. Now, I'm not saying we should be shooting these people. Listen, the ones in New York who came up from way, way South America, like the southest of South America, they came up. You could tell from their football jerseys and the music that they're pumping, right? They're probably going to, when the winter hits now in New York, they're probably going to die like bees. You know the way bees die in the, like, did you ever see that movie Swarm? It was all about these attack of killer bees in this small town, and they were able to trick them into. It's funny, you have to trick the bees. It's a movie from the 80s, and all these bees went into a hockey rink, and then they closed the doors and turned up the temperature, and that's how they killed them all. Spoiler alert! So that's I think that's what's going to happen with New York City and Chicago and and Philly and Denver. Not LA. LA is warm. And Washington DC. When the winter hits, all these they're just going to die like bees. I think that's what's going to happen. But you know, it's fucking laughable. So I think the thing to learn from this is, I guess the moral of the story is, again, politicians who, again, I'm so glad I don't pick a side. I ain't left, I ain't right. But the liberal ones who were saying this is terrible, we need to treat these people well and blah, 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 they're fucking like going back on their word, right? So again, it's my point that I've always been saying, the politicians are all full of shit. They're all full of shit. So let's go back. So the problem is when you go back to Texas, right? So they're coming in across the border and there's no background checks. They're in, they're out, no problems at all, right? A quick process, quick fucking, they're in and out in a few days? Done, off you go, here's your bus ticket, fuck off. Here's money, here's this, that, the other, you're fine, welcome, come on in. When I moved to America 20 years ago, the amount of hoops that I had to jump through, I'm not complaining, I understood that that's the American laws, right? This will put it in perspective for you, how times have changed. So I met my wife. I don't want to go too personal, I don't really like sharing that kind of stuff, but I'll tell you the story. I met my wife in Ireland, decided to get married, you know, after life goes by. We decided to get married. I asked, where do you want to live? I couldn't care less because I've lived all over Europe. I've traveled. Couldn't care less where we lived. She wanted to live here. Let's live here. Had to go get, you like the show 90 Day Fiance, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So you had to go file for the paperwork. Then you get a fiance visa. Once you get the fiance visa, they only give you 90 days to get married. So once you get that, you get 90 days to get married, and then you get right. That's what the 90 Day Fiance show is about. So, but having said that, so it wasn't just straightforward. Right? But that what I just said. Oh, I applied for visa. I got 90 Day Fiance. We got married. Now all of a sudden I'm a resident. No, that took over a year by the time all the paperwork. I had to go to the U.S. Embassy, sit down with a folder that I had to produce of proof of, like, I had to show receipts for flights, had to show receipts for engagement rings, pictures of me and her family, pictures of us, proof, like emails to each other, like personal emails, bank accounts. Like you had to prove that I was involved with this person. Okay? Now, funny story, right? This is the point of the story. So I'm sitting and you're in the US Embassy, and everybody around you is probably going through something, the same situation. So like maybe like Tuesdays is 90 Day Fiance Day. Fucking Wednesday is I'm looking for a job day. Thursday is whatever the fuck it is. So I'm sitting there and I'm talking to this guy from County Cork. And we're going through the same thing, and they call you up. Now, you have to sit in a room for 2 hours while they did a background check. Mine took longer because I've had addresses all over Europe. So they do a background check through any countries you lived in and that kind of stuff, with your criminal record, all of that stuff, before they can approve it. So this guy, this is the point. We're in the US Embassy. So we're in Dublin City, US Embassy, which means we're on American soil. We're sitting there, and I'm talking to him. And he got called up for an interview, a meeting, and we're sitting there. I'm waiting for my stuff to come through. He comes back down. He sits down with me. He goes, "Fuck, there's a problem." I go, "What's wrong with you, mate?" Couldn't tell you his name. I remember what he looked like, though. And he goes, 10 years ago, I was visiting Atlantic City in New York, and I got a $50 ticket for not jaywalking. Breaking curfew. I guess Atlantic City had a curfew. So if he said 10 years ago, that was 20 years ago. So that was 30 years ago. I guess Atlantic City must have had a curfew. And he was out after curfew in Atlantic City, and he didn't pay the ticket. So he goes, they want to see if that's a problem. He got called up 10 minutes later, put a big denied stamp across his paperwork. He wasn't allowed in America because he didn't pay a $50 ticket. Do you see the like how strict it was? But now in you come. Like, I wonder, is that I don't know what happened to that guy. If he just called the wedding off and said, fuck it, it's not worth it, because maybe she doesn't want to live in America. She doesn't want to live in Ireland, especially Cork. I wouldn't live in Cork. Sorry, Cork, I wouldn't live there. I don't know whatever happened to him. Maybe he should have just snuck in illegally. That way he would have not only got in the country, but he would have got everything for free. It's scary, really, isn't it, though? Because, like, the people that are suffering for it now, like, I've heard things in South Carolina. There's been cases where, because the illegal immigrants are coming in, they have to be schooled. They have to, by law, be schooled. So now they're registering these schools, and there's a lot of laws in certain states that if there's a certain amount of Spanish-speaking kids, you have to have Spanish-speaking teachers. Teachers like, I don't know fucking Spanish, and then they're going, you don't have a job here anymore. We got to let you go and hire a Spanish teacher now. So now regular people who are minding their business, who went through everything right, played the game, followed the rules, are now being kicked out of their jobs. I don't know where it stands. I don't know where it stops. But all I will say is, I don't know how to wrap it up. But what I've learned from all this is that the politicians are all full of shit. That's what I learned. By meaning that is that you should let them in, and when they're dropped on your doorstep, then it's a problem. And I think that's a message for all of us, right? We do like to go say we're holier than thou, higher than mighty. Isn't that how you say it? Higher than mighty. But then when the shoe is on literally your foot, when you're the ones who's literally affected by it, now all of a sudden it's like, oh boy. And I always like that. It was that thing in the Bible, right, where Peter denied Jesus 3 times. And people go, like, I wouldn't have done that. I would have definitely said, I'm all in. Yeah, I know Jesus. I would. But they held basically knives to his neck, and he panicked, and he said, no, I don't know him. And he bailed. So that's what these politicians are doing. They're fucking bailing on you. They're bailing on you, right? Again, listen, go out there and fucking... I don't know how to wrap this up. I'm fucking rambling. I'm getting out of here. I gotta go. All right. Anyway, thanks for liking, listening, subscribing, sharing. Let an immigrant into your house. That's the message for today. Let one live with you. Like the Ukraine people. They're I don't know. Maybe get some hot ones. If you have a spare room and you want to get a bunch of hot ones, let the hot ones stay in your house, male or female, whatever you want to do. Right, live out a fantasy. There you go. Win-win. Have a good one. All right, I gotta go. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing. As always, wash your hands, you dirty fuckers. Good luck to you.